How's it going, everybody? My name is Cave. I'm currently the world record holder in a lot of the Returnal categories, including the one that I'm creating a guide for now. This has been a long-awaited video and one that I've been meaning to get to for a while, but this will be the glitched fresh file route guide. So we do have several videos scattered throughout YouTube for different glitched parts within the route, but hopefully this will be a full guide on the whole run, everything compiled in one place and showing you how I do each of the tricks. So to begin, similar to how I did the glitchless video, I'll go ahead and show my controls. On my controller, you see that I moved dash to L1, melee to R1, my use consumable to up on the D-pad, and my photo mode to square. Note that I use controller. That's because I started playing Returnal on PS5 and then made the switch to PC once it released. I'm just too used to using it on controller. I never could really figure out how to DMJ with mouse and keyboard. Over in gameplay, you're going to want to turn sprint to always sprint regardless of what you're on or your controls. You never need to not sprint. You should always have always sprint on. My minimap distance I have bumped up to 80%. I know some people do higher, some people do a little lower. This just makes Biome 1 a little easier as far as navigating to the correct door. And then lastly, in our display, you need to make sure that your cycle timer is on. When you go to Customize HUD, and here, make sure your cycle timer is on. This has to be on in order for us to verify your run. With all that said, we'll go ahead and get our glitched run going. Similar to the glitchless video, I'll probably show the run in its entirety. I think it's more helpful that way. There will be some cuts because there's a point where there's different RNGs. So I'll go ahead and make a cut to show the different types, but that'll come later. We'll get to it when we get there. For now, the route's pretty much the same. Gonna pick up the gun, fire here. Now, for the first bit, normally I skip this health, and it's entirely okay to skip it. I recommend if you're just starting to learn the run, you should pick it up. I'm going to skip it for now, just so I can show you the other way to pick up health later on that saves a little bit of time. But note, you probably should just pick it up if you're new to the run. Here, this will be our first big skip of the run. It's called Burglar Skip. This is going to help us skip the first mandatory cutscene of the game. It saves around a minute if you do it immediately, so there is room for failure. Note, it is a little tough and finicky, but, you know, even I'm probably going to screw it up a bunch now. I haven't done it in a while. The way I do it is I line myself up in this corner here. I put my cursor, if you look down at the compass, it should be right in the middle of east and south. And then I run at the door. And you want to start jumping. Now you can either mash. There's people that like to mash, or myself, I like to do it timed. I've had more success timing the jumps, but I have seen mashing work. And the goal is you want to be able to scale this entire wall. There we go. So Celine should grab up here after 4 jumps. Something that helps me out, and I'll go down and do it again, is as I'm jumping up, I try to hold my controller direction towards this wall. I feel that if I'm holding it towards that, usually Celine has a better time grabbing onto the wall. So here I'll try to do it one more time for everyone. And I wouldn't get too upset if you're not able to do this immediately. It's a tough skip. It's very finicky, not super consistent. Stuff like that will happen where you get the amount of jumps, but your jumps aren't high enough, or you time them wrong, so you end up falling back down. But if you keep at it, you'll eventually get decent enough at it where you can do it at the start of runs and you're saving time. You don't necessarily have to do this in your glitched run if you feel like you're not good enough at it, or you're not consistent enough at it, and you'd rather just, you know, watch the cutscene. That is perfectly fine. But since it is at the start of the run, I find, you know, I might as well go for it, try to save the time, and if it doesn't work, then I just reset the run. And now we're going to sit here and watch me struggle for a while. I might just make a cut to when I succeed, so it's on the next few times. It'll probably just cut here. Nope, there it is. Perfect. So Once you're up here, once you make it up to this where you grab on, you're gonna jump here, and you're gonna run to the left. Now you're gonna want to aim for this area right here. So we're gonna run, jump, and dash, and you should land on an invisible wall here. So now we're aiming for a platform that's over there-ish, and to do that, there is some invisible ceiling here that we can walk on. I usually use like the end of this branch is a good point to know how far you can go. So, you know, this might be something you just have to play back and watch again, but we're gonna run out. Normally you don't fall down here. That's weird. Anyways, we're gonna run out a little bit, jump, and dash to land over here. You can check out, I'll have my world record linked, so you can see it all in one fluid motion. Normally you don't fall down where I fell. You're able to just sort of walk ahead. And you want to jump from there to land here in one go. From this point, the route's going to look pretty much identical to the glitchless route. The next change isn't going to happen until Act 2. But in the spirit of, you know, showing a full glitched guide and having it all in one place, we will go through the whole route. But this is the first piece. Here what you want to do is wait till you get to the bottom, reset cycle, and this is going to skip the boss fight. You save a little bit of time doing this. You're going to reset again. Here, this saves, again, a little more time walking out of the ship, since our timing is based only on the cycle timer. And now we're going to go ahead and do our glitchless route. The only thing you're going to want to keep note of is you want to head towards the blue doors, the light blue ones. Pick up our calibrator and fire the alternate fire. This guide is going to assume that you have played and beaten Returnal. If you haven't watched my updated glitchless guide, I recommend you do that as well. It'll go over things like we're doing right now, such as skipping the carbine. The carbine is no longer a part of the fresh file route. Nowadays, we use the shotgun. You can still use the carbine if you want a safer route. So again, if you're a beginner, I do recommend checking that video out and following that route that uses the carbine and hollow seeker for Act 1 instead of the shotgun. But for now, I'm going to go and show the shotgun strats. You're going to do one dash when you enter this room, run straight, and pick up that calibrator before you hit the ground to avoid the landing lag. And now we're going to continue on.
Confirmed. Point-to-point teleportation. Location exit seems fixed.
Hopefully everyone finds this guide helpful. I'd love to see more people try out the glitched route. There is a lot of RNG, but I find it's actually a lot of fun as well. And also just much shorter. So, you know, you get to save another extra 10 minutes each run. And it's really cool how the community was able to come together once it released on PC and was able to actually find a lot of these glitches. And here, there are two light blue doors. Just go, you know, we don't have the sword yet, so come to this one. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining stuff like that, since again, this is the glitched route. Here, we're going to pick up a shotgun and hope that it's not wide maw. It is slug shot, which is great. You want either slug shot or narrow maw, and you also want primarily horizontal barrage, but as long as you don't get the electricity one, they're pretty good. At this point, we're now going to try to work towards getting slug shot unlocked. What I do is just on the way to doors, like on the way to get the sword, I'll kill enemies that are directly in my path, so like, you know, these are pretty decent ones to kill. You don't want to spend too much time, just, you know, whatever's convenient. Note that it's around 15 kills, I think, in order to unlock a trait. And you want to make sure you have Slugshot unlocked for the second boss. So you have time. You have all of this biome. You have all of biome 2. Biome 2, it's pretty easy to get kills. There's a lot of turrets in the way that you can get. But, you know, again, for me, it's like if you're on the way, you might as well get a few of these. And at this point, this is where you'll pick up the health if you didn't pick it up at the start. So you run the risk of the health not actually spawning in. But what I do is I take some damage by jumping through the spawning enemy. Then I kill the tree enemy. And then I wait for this enemy to spawn. And then once I kill that enemy, I run over to the health and I pick it up and scan it while the door is opening. So that's, again, you know, it's something you can work on if you'd like. Otherwise, just pick it up at the very start if you're not comfortable doing it. With the sword, we now have the ability to DMJ. I'll link a good DMJ video in the description if you don't know how to DMJ. Strongly recommend you practice it. I'll show an area later in the game that is good for practicing it. So once we picked up the sword, which we picked up in that room with the circle door over there, we run back to where the teleporter was, and you're going to always go to teleporter 2 here. The only time you don't do this, we do have a separate route where if the boss room door is in that same room where you picked up the sword, you actually go to the boss room first, and you pick up the teleporter there, and then you come back and get the key, and then teleport back to the boss room. But since I didn't get that, we're going to pick up the key. And then we're going to look for where our boss door was. In this case, it's closest to teleporter 3. So we'll come there. Remember to, you know, kill enemies if they're right in front of you on the way. Some good RNG you can get here is the turrets. The turrets are really easy to kill. The Banshees also offer you a lot of kills if you get those. Open the door, and now we can go kill Freaky. The Freaky fight is going to be pretty identical to how it used to be. All fire, jump, and melee. Now, just note that you're going to want to hold down the shoot button and mash your melee button. Anytime Freaky does those blue lasers, you can sit underneath, and when Freaky does the red ones, you have to back up. For phase 1, there's only one attack you really have to back up for. Start at phase 2. We're going to watch out for the swinging arm. You can parry through them. I might be able to do some during this run here. But you can always just dash away. So there's an example of a parry. I meleeed through his Freaky's pip. Sorry. I meleeed through Freak's melee. So we call that a parry. There's no official parry mechanic, but we're just using iframes. There, I did it again. You're going to want to use your alt fire on cooldown for the most part. And just make sure you keep up with the melees. At the start of phase 3, Freaky's going to do this pattern where it's going to do 4 actions. It's going to dash with the melee. It's going to either then shoot a blue laser or a teleport, dash again, and then shoot a blue laser or a teleport. Ideally, you get no teleports. You get, you know, double blue lasers. And after that, it's going to do the purple attack. Nowadays, if you have a lot of health and you're very comfortable with the run, you can just face tank the damage and keep meleeing. If you're not comfortable, I would advise backing up and dodging the purple attacks while continuously firing. Once defeated, walk up to the dead body, pick up the key, and now we can continue on to Biome 2. You're always going to go to teleporter 5 from this teleporter, so you can get there pretty quickly like I did. And we're going to go to where we picked up the sword, and that is how we'll proceed to Biome 2. We can always pick up these oblates here. This is good for beginners if you want to buy a health pack. And for those that aren't going to take time to buy the health pack, it's actually good to pick up anyways. Just in case you get the golden coil from Ixion. It's like super small. you know, it's a super small damage bonus, but it's still worth picking up because you have to wait for the teleport anyways. Now for the new route. From here, we're actually going to not pick up the calibrator yet. Instead, we're only going to pick up the health. We're going to pick up the calibrator in biome 3. So let's scan our health. And we'll continue on. Remember, we do want to get slugshot by the time we reach the boss. Note that there are 4 very easy to kill enemies right before Ixion. So, worst case, just make sure you're at the threshold where you only need 4 more kills. Here, we're just going to DMJ through the desert towards the bright light. This is a great place to practice your DMJs if you're not comfortable with them. I would ignore all the enemies around here. They're not particularly fast to kill or easy. And you're going to save a lot more time just speeding through this area. They'll be a lot more easier to kill enemies up ahead. Starting with these turrets.
Encountered armored fauna.
Go ahead and melee those. And we'll use our alt fire on the last one. Wow. Frames, lost a few frames there, but we're good. Next, our next skip. If we start shooting at this severed from further away, you can actually activate the cutscene sooner. So you see there, we shot at the severed from all the way back there, and it's going to teleport us forward for the cutscene. We're going to DMJ up to the blue door. It can be on either side, so make sure you take a look at your mini-map. One of the reasons why it's good to have your mini-map zoomed out. And then we'll proceed up the tower. Again, we're keeping an eye on our kills, making sure that, you know, we'll have Slugshot available for Ixion. Slugshot or Narrow Maw, if you picked up Narrow Maw. Feel free to use your alt fire on enemies on the way for easy kills. And here we have a turret, so we'll probably use that to get a kill. And now we have Slugshot. If you're curious how many kills you have, you look at the bottom left, and you can sort of estimate, you know, based on where the bar is, how many more kills you need. This pattern worked out well. One, I was going a little slow, but I also had a lot of convenient to kill enemies, so it worked out. And I was able to get all my required kills. So almost at Ixion. If you ever need health, you can check to the left here. Sometimes it's health, like it is now. Other times it's resin. And you can't ever get the health that's on the right side on the map, so don't bother trying to search over there. Alright, coming up, now we have a bit of a tough part in the new route. If you are someone new to the game, I would scan the Hollow Seeker at the start of the tower. I forgot to show where that was. If you check my original fresh file guide, it'll show you where you pick up the Hollow Seeker. This is where you would kill enemies if you didn't have enough for your ability yet. So make sure you have enough to at least kill 4 enemies. Or where, you know, 4 enemies is all you need to get either Slugshot or Narrow Maw. And now we're going to fight Ixion with the shotgun. If you want to look up how to do it with the Hollow Seeker, again, I recommend watching my original fresh file glitchless route. That should be linked to my channel and also in the description. Here, what we're going to do is try to keep close to Ixion and continuously shoot. We're going to do our best to avoid attacks, but you're going to take damage. It's the fact of the matter. After a certain amount of attacks, he's going to do an attack where he streamlines a lot of bullets in a straight line. It's possible to stand underneath and continuously shoot by walking in a circle like that. It's tough to do, so it takes a little bit of practice, but after a little bit, you can get the rhythm down of how you're supposed to rotate around. And that was phase 1. As you can see, this is much faster than the Hollow Seeker. Phase 2, we're going to come up, wait for the health bar to fill up, and then it's going to be shoot, melee, shoot, melee, shoot, shoot, melee. Didn't do it quite right there. There is a way to do that without taking any damage. If you time everything properly, you're going to melee through the first blue ring that comes out, and you'll actually send Ixion up without taking any damage. So if you happen to get here and you have low health, you know, there's a way to do it with the shotgun to save health. Now you're going to look up, find Ixion, get underneath, alt fire, and then do the circle thing again. The first attack when coming down is always going to be that one, so try to get right underneath Ixion from the get-go. Next we're going to DMJ close to this platform, and then back up a little. This will make it easier to dodge these blue orbs. I'm going to keep shooting. Oof. We almost actually killed Ixion before flying up here. It's rare and kind of hard to do, but note that it is actually possible to kill Ixion before he flies over here. I've only done it a handful of times, but it's just something worth noting. Here, there's no way to stay invincible for this, so just start shooting in melee and immediately use alt fire as well. I just want to get through that part as fast as possible, and you're going to take one hit of damage, so you know, that's the fact of life. And now we have phase 3, which with shotgun does become a little bit harder, because it's going to be more in the grill. Here, I like to dash and go to the right, dash back in, get some more melees in, then dash away, and on the third bounce, dash back in melee. Use the health bar when needed. Here, going to see the first one, dash, come back in. That's another good way to avoid damage here. A few more shots. Gonna melee because I was reloaded. And that's Ixion with the shotgun. Feel free to rewatch that. Watch, you know, my record run. It takes time. It's a tough boss, especially with the shotgun, but it's not impossible. And with enough practice, you can get in. If you're on PC, definitely join the Discord. We have resources that will start you off right in front of the boss, so that way you can practice the boss over and over without having to run through the game. If you're on PS5, unfortunately, you will have to run through the entire, you know, first part to get there. But for those PC users, I mean, PS5 users also join the Discord. But PC users, we have the guide, or we have files to help you load up. Here we're going to pick up our calibrator, and now we're going to look for a weapon. The weapon we're looking for is very specific. We're looking for a shotgun that has, one, the ability we already unlocked, but then also has explosive spit. So we're looking for, actually, I'm sorry, this is the glitched guide. We're looking for any shotgun. I think we actually prefer rapid spitter. Please ignore what I said. What I just said before, that's going to be a part of the updated glitchless guide I'm going to create. For glitched, we don't really care about the shotgun trait. You just want to pick up a shotgun that is stronger. If you have rapid spitter, I advise, you know, you can unlock it with stuff on the way. I wouldn't go out of your way to get it, but if you happen to get rapid spitter, it helps a little bit. If you get explosive spit, do not unlock it. Do not unlock explosive spit before Nemesis. Explosive spit makes Nemesis way slower. So I strongly encourage against unlocking explosive spit. I tried picking up that health. Not sure why I didn't. Anyways. From here we're just gonna make our way through the tower now that we have our upgraded shotgun. Got pretty good damage on it. Blast shell is usable, so from here we'll just speed run through to activate the bridge. There have been whispers of actually being able to skip this part eventually. We're still trying to find if there's really a way. We've been not successful, but you know, that's again something where if you join the Discord, you can join in on conversations like that, and you know, maybe even help us find the next big skip. A good thing to do there is to melee the big guy when you come down to stagger him. Turn on the bridge. And here's a skip I like doing. We're gonna dash once, and then run down, and then DMJ across, and you can barely grab onto that ledge before the bridge is all the way done coming out.
I'm currently crossing the
So that saves a little bit of time.
proceeding towards the tower.
This is a RNG bit. You want to get fast tower. This is fast tower. People always ask me, how can I tell so early, something, something. If you look at your mini-map, sorry. Is another one gonna come? Yeah, that's annoying. Trying to make a video here, guys. Let's settle down. For, sorry. Trying to in my head think of how to describe this. If you look at the minimap above me, you see that the path goes towards the left when I'm facing this way. That's fast tower. You'll know it's slow tower because the path will be towards the right, and you'll see like a health thing up there as well. So if you get this pattern on your minimap, congrats. You got the good RNG. From there, you can just grapple straight up. Make our way up the rest of the tower. Try not to take any more damage because you do need health for this Nemesis fight. You probably will take damage. Shotgun Nemesis is a little tough. And now, a new development actually in both routes. I'll mention this in my updated video for the other. When you get to this gun, you can stop, pause, and suspend cycle. There's been this glitch on Nemesis where the platforms on phase 2 don't come apart. It's unfortunate. It basically kills any runs, especially if you're using shotgun. If you're using carbine for Nemesis, it'll be fine. That's another note. If you're doing the old route, I'd watch the video for Act 1 as my glitch list. It's the same exact route outside of the burglar skip at the very beginning. But where you pick up the weapons and how you use the weapons is the same. But back to the point, Nemesis glitch ruins your runs. If you're using shotgun, makes it near impossible. And to avoid that, you're going to suspend cycle and then reload the game where you'll start right back here and you'll be able to continue. In the spirit of this video and me not wanting to really do edits and make cuts more than I have to, I'm just going to risk it. Risking it's also a legitimate strategy where if you're on a pace that's maybe a little behind and you're thinking of resetting anyways, maybe you just risk it. So here's Nemesis. Now with the shotgun, you're going to want to get up towards the front and you're going to move left to right. For when the orange orbs, you can move without scoped in. For the purple ones, you can't scope in. So for the orange, make sure you're not scoped. For the purple, you can go ahead and scope to make the spread a little tighter. At this point, you're just gonna play it like the regular fight. Just do your best to avoid everything and keep putting on damage. And that's phase 1, which, you know, again, much faster than carbine. And since I didn't reset the cycle, I suppose we're hoping we don't get the glitch. Nice, we didn't. You'll know you get the glitch because these platforms don't spread apart. It'll all still be together. Luckily, I didn't get the glitch. Now, this is where you start saving a lot of time with the shotgun. Normally, Nemesis like teleports away to another platform and you gotta chase him down. With shotgun, you can actually one cycle. So again, I'm gonna shoot my alt fire, scope down and start spraying. Once the orange orbs come out, I'm gonna unscope and start going side to side. Whoopsies. So that's what happens if you scope in. You actually just can't stride, you know, strafe fast enough to outrun the orange orbs when you're scoped in. So make sure you're scoped out. Oh my! That's not good. This is not good for the video. This should not happen when you're doing shotgun. And it's the reason why we use the shotgun. Again, I'll have my record linked. In the record, that doesn't happen. You're gonna kill Nemesis before it teleports. Yikes. Embarrassing. Anyways, this is phase 3. Our goal is we need to get right on top of Nemesis. And unfortunately, that means we have to deal with platform RNG. We need these platforms to line up for us really nice so that we can kind of get directly to Nemesis without taking too much damage, hopefully. This is pretty decent RNG. We're gonna see if we can get to... We could not. It died. That's unfortunate. Fortunately, this still looks like pretty good platform RNG. Really good, honestly. And now that we're up close, You can't miss any overloads. You're just gonna spam bullets right into the chest. And that is Nemesis with the shotgun. It's important to have a lot of health, as you saw there. The more health you save for Nemesis, the better. You're gonna take damage. It's tough. Again, we have those practice files. Practice the best thing you can do. And that is Act 1 of Glitched. You might be looking at, you know, your time, and you might be comparing it to your Glitchless time, and you're thinking, how is the rest of the run so short? You know, we've gone through almost this whole game. It's practically the same as the Glitchless route. We've saved maybe a minute, probably less, on Burglar Skip. So where's this other, 10 minutes of time save coming from? And you're going to see that coming up once we start Biome 4. Biome 4 is where the glitched route really starts to pick up. There will be a cut because there are technically 2 routes you can take due to RNG. There's an optimal route and a non-optimal route. I'll make the cut. I'll probably, I'll describe it so you can see both routes. Make sure that you know what you're doing and you can react appropriately when you see in each one. But here, now you're going to really want to pay attention for those that are not totally up to date on how the glitches work. First, we're going to proceed as normal, but we are going to restart the cycle at a certain point. And we're restarting the cycle so that we can reorganize the rooms that we're looking at. That might not make sense now, but you'll see why it's important to reorganize where a certain room appears. Just gonna grab this health, TMJ through the next few, and then coming up, we're gonna see a notification pop up in our bottom left. As soon as we go through this door, new ship log unlocked. As soon as you see that new ship log unlocked in the bottom right, we're gonna restart the cycle. And essentially what we're doing is we need the house to be right next to where the key doors in Biome 4 normally are. And we're going to see why when we get back there. So, now that we've reset, we're going to speed run through all of these rooms. You're going to... One second. I'm trying to remember this route. Oh, no, you're going to ignore... You can ignore the driver. We don't need it. We actually don't need guns at all for the rest of this route. Sorry for the confusion. I haven't done glitched in a while, and doing this guide was sort of a spur of the moment thing. I just felt recent motivation, so here I am. Speed run your way to the... Wow, that's so annoying. Hopefully you don't get this locked down. I will probably cut this. Alright, so now that we have now that we're past that lockdown, anyways, I'm gonna keep speed running through each of these rooms. And now that we've reached the house, I'll make sure no enemies are following me and there's no damage. So we've reached the house. This is where our first big glitch comes in. This is how we're gonna skip gathering all the keys in Biome 4. You're gonna hop onto this platform here. You're gonna look towards these trees over here, and you want to aim for that section right there. So jump, dash into it, we're locked in. Now you're gonna jump forward to get up to here, jump again, and then you want to get to this rock. So showing that again, quickly this time, come up here, here. You can actually run from here to here as well, that works. Now from here, you want to jump up on top of this weird stem behind you. If you're not moving, that's ideal. That means you're at the perfect spot. Because next, there's an invisible ceiling above us that you're going to jump and sort of go forward towards and grab it. So let me show that again. From here, you're going to jump here. You can see I'm moving a little bit. That means I'm not in a good spot. When I get to the point where I'm not moving, you want to hold forward a little bit, jump up, and you'll grab an invisible wall. From here, move a little bit forward so you have some room on this invisible area. And we want to DMJ over to that platform. And now we're up here. So showing that all again in one go, full speed. Jump to the other tree, work our way around, up to this section, invisible platform, DMJ. Now that we're up here, our goal is to get over these rocks. And to do that, you're going to wedge yourself in between these two trees. People have different ways of doing it. For me, what works, for some reason, is actually facing forward and then dashing to the left. Then you want to sort of look up and dash towards the tree. You'll know you're in a good spot if you're dashing up and towards the right. That means you're getting pretty close. And you want to keep doing this until eventually you'll break through. That was close. Here's sort of a look if you do it this way. Face up. And we're there. You'll know things aren't going right if you're not dashing up and towards the left and you're dashing in a different direction. Anyways, now that we're here, you can either land here. Sometimes you can land up there. Our goal is to get to those rocks right there. So we'll just jump and dash. And now you can see why we needed the house to be next to where the keys are. Because if the house wasn't there, we're not going to have any of these platforms to run along. Now that we're here, we're just going to jump and dash towards this ledge here. And continue forward. Once we're at the end here, there's another visible wall. So to avoid that, you're going to drop down here, drop here, and then drop here. And now we're past the key door. And we didn't use any keys for Biome 4. So maybe, wow, okay, so you skip Biome 4. That's crazy. That's just the start. Now, once we make our way up here, the next step.
A tower.
Now, we're going to skip Biome 5. We're going to skip Hyperion. We're going to skip killing Hyperion. And we're going to skip go do all of Biome 5. There's two routes. The first route is the fast one. It is not what we got. There are 3 different RNG patterns for this room. This is one of them. On the other 2, this teleporter won't be here, but you'll be able to come this way. In the optimal RNG, there's a grapple point over there that you can see. On non-optimal RNG, it's the pathway that leads you upstairs going this way. So what I'm about to show you now is what you will do if you get the 2 non-optimal routes. Once I'm done showing you this, I'll make a cut to the optimal route that you can take a look at and know how to do it that way as well. So in the case where you get this teleporter, you're always going to wait to take the teleporter up. However, note, if you get the bad RNG without the teleporter, what you want to do is come over here, jump on this, and then grapple to this platform. But yeah, if you get the teleporter, just take that. Next, we're going to climb up to the top of this mountain. You're going to hope your frames don't drop like mine just did. And we're going to stand right here. Note, this part of the skip is a little finicky. I don't really know how to describe it. I kind of just send it. But there's an invisible wall, a kill plane, etc. all over here. There, I hit a wall. And we might have gotten the glitch where you always get a wall, which is going to be really annoying if I did, because then that means I'm going to have to do this again and get the pattern where I don't have the wall. Okay, there we go. So I came this way, landed down here. You want to land on this somewhere. Just rewatch the video, try to aim where I did, do a light DMJ, and you want to go from there down to here. There is a glitch where sometimes it'll just be a one big invisible wall. We're not sure what causes it. If that happens, you got to reset the cycle and do it all over again. Otherwise, if you manage to make it down here, we're gonna walk to this edge, DMJ, hug the wall, and we'll land here. Continuing this way, we're now gonna DMJ at that wall there, and we're gonna land inside the wall. So DMJ, keep holding forward as you land, and you're gonna land here. Last, we're just going to walk forward towards this, and we're not going to dash. We're going to dash once our screen changes to be underwater, and then we're going to dash towards the pylon to avoid the kill plane. Hey, cutting back in. I imagine I made a cut. No particular reason. May or may not have died during the drop down bit. So we're going to ignore that there was a jump cut. And instead, as I mentioned before, you're going to want to walk out this way. And you want to fall down over here. And then dash in as soon as the screen changes towards the water stuff. And then you'll be down here. Hey everyone, throwing this clip in here. This isn't the optimal RNG either. I just want to give you a view of what it sort of looks like when you have the other bad RNG. As soon as you enter the door, over here, you're not going to be able to see, the grapple over there. I think there's also supposed to be like a light here that's normally there. And if you come all the way up here, you'll see that the pathway doesn't go to the left, but goes to the right. So yeah, that's just sort of what you're looking for if the teleport is not there and you're trying to figure out if you have the good path or not. Anyways, gonna cut to the good RNG now. Hey everyone, this should be another cut, I imagine. This is what it's gonna look like as soon as you enter this room. You can see there's like a faint glowing light on the left there. There's also like a little lamp right there. If you see that as soon as you walk in, congrats, you got the good RNG. It has taken me about 30 minutes of recording to get this. I've gotten about 12 to 15 of the bad RNGs. Not sure. I don't even remember how I meant to cut it, how I wrote I was gonna cut it, but here it is. We're gonna find a way to work it in. So what you're gonna do if you get this RNG, you're gonna run up, grapple here, but don't go all the way up. You're gonna stop at this middle level. Then you're going to dash into this wall until you get up here. Jump into this to grapple up again. You're gonna fall down onto these rocks. Jump around this ledge to come over here. Then we're gonna try to land somewhere over there. So jump and dash and hug the wall. And now we're back to where we were before. I'm not sure where I'm gonna cut, so I'll just sort of, show again. Hey, maybe we, I don't know. I feel so delirious. I spent 30 minutes trying to get this RNG. That's how you do it up there. From here, it's the same exact way as the other way. We're gonna just run up this way. And as soon as you get the water even a little before, you're just gonna dash forward, and you're gonna land here. So yeah, back to the other cut, maybe? Probably? Yeah. Next is two routes you can take. The first one is you want to DMJ over here. And then from here, you can DMJ out there, and that's where you want to go. The other way, if you want to play it more safe and pick up health, is come down here, walk over to this corner. You're going to drop a little bit, and then you'll get down. And this is good if you want to pick up the health, which I'm going to do because the last skip is a little finicky and often requires, having more health than not. Sorry, trying to get back into commentary mode. After I may or may not have failed and died, the next time getting back to that area, I might have gotten the glitch I mentioned where, you run into an invisible wall. So, I've done my fair share of Biome 4s, and I'm sure after this I'll have to do more in order to get footage of the good RNG, considering, the 3 times I've done it so far, I haven't. Anyways, back into instructive mode. We're gonna follow the same sort of route as glitchless for the next bit. We're gonna do our skip over the mini boss. We're gonna pick up the visor that helps us see the orbs, stuff like that. That's all gonna be the same. So we're gonna make our way towards the end. Here, when we go to pick up the visor, we're going to DMJ across the hole to skip the mini boss and pick up the visor right away. Then, I know some people actually shoot this orb because you can DMJ into it and fall down, so you can do that, or you can just simply not DMJ at it. Go around. From here, we're going to continue to run as normal. However, our last big glitch is coming up. Really, it's two glitches that have been combined into one in a way. But we're going to skip picking up the key. And then we're going to actually skip Ophion entirely. Again, shout out to Chaddington Duck. He put in a lot of work finding out a lot of these. So we're not going to go for the key. We're going to instead go straight towards Ophion's door. And when we're here, we're actually going to go over to the right. And now this skip is very difficult. I'm going to not be able to do it. It requires a couple different things happening. But we're going to DMJ straight this way. And then once we reach, like, a certain point, we're going to dash to the left in melee. And you'll sort of see what we're aiming for. But once we dash in melee and hit the wall, you're going to start mashing jump to try to jump up the wall. So we're going to do it a few times, and hopefully we land one of these. Otherwise, I'm making a new cut. So DMJ. And now the issue with this skip is sometimes you do not get an extra dash in the air after you DMJ. So we're going to keep trying it. DMJ. Dash melee. Mash jump. So there, I wasn't high enough, unfortunately. So we're going to die again. I have enough to survive one more fall, I think, without healing. So let's try again. DMJ. I heal just in case. I got a little nervous. So, you know, you can see this skip is also not very easy. Come on. Oh, maybe. This has some hope. This has hope to it. It does not. Here we go. That's good. You want to mash jump as soon as you hit this wall for the best chance of grabbing on. And you're going to hold forward and keep mashing that jump button until eventually you're going to sneak your way through and make it here. Whew. Tough. From here, we're going to DMJ towards this big cylinder and start running around. From here, we're going to count out these big crevices here. So there's one. We're going to go past that. And here is 2. Now from 2, we're going to want to face, if we look down at our compass, sort of get perpendicular with this line. And you want to be facing this mark here. So you're going to look towards the south, 2 dots to the right. And from here, we're going to walk straight off and look down, turn around, and we should eventually hit something. Oh, no. Oh, is this it? Oh. Yeah, here you go. Yeah. We actually land on the platform. Normally, I land, like, up there, and then I fall down to this area, but this is the area you want to land. Again, I know I keep saying this. It's just, these glitches aren't super consistent. But if you want sort of a clean view of everything, I would watch my record video. It's going to be linked. It'll give you sort of an overview of me doing the glitches. But once you reach this point, again, using the lineup I used, there might be a better lineup. It might be the lineup I just did. Maybe that's actually different than what I used to do. Because landing directly here is really fast. But once you're here, you're going to want to line up with this line on the floor. And you're going to see sort of like a crack here. And from here, you're going to walk off so you barely get off the platform. And then hold up towards the wall. And then dash immediately and keep holding forward. And you should land here. Once you've landed here, you're immediately going to come here. And you're going to suspend cycle. I'm going to imagine it's still recording my voice. But you're just going to see a black screen. Once you suspend cycle, reboot your Returnal game. The reason you're suspending your cycle there is because there's a kill plane that for whatever reason deactivates when you suspend cycle. I'm not sure who found it. Not sure how they came about finding it. But that's how it is. So I booted my game back up. And now I'm going to show you the next steps. This is going to happen pretty quickly. We're going to look over here. We're going to just walk forward towards this area. Dash melee. And sort of hug this crevice in the wall. We're eventually going to land here. And now the end is like somewhere over there. So you want to dash off and look for landmarks. If you see this room here, you gotta want to go a little bit to the left. And you see that I landed up here. And now we can just DMJ right to the end. Whoops. One more invisible ceiling. And that is the glitched route. I'm going to go ahead and skip all these credits. And cutscenes. I imagine you've already seen it, but, you know. Just in case for some reason someone watched this before doing the run themselves. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, leave them as comments. I'll probably reply. My videos aren't getting traction. I'll see your comment. I'll reply to your question. Join the Discord if you want to ask, you know, all of the community, as well as join it and get access to some of the files and guides on there. And yeah, good luck with your runs and have fun. Thank you.